They saw scars and presumed weakness, confusing battle-worn with broken. But here's the thing. You've already gone to hell. You didn't simply survive. You flourished in the heat, transformed into something unbreakable and invincible. Poor them, believing their games would harm someone who has already been reforged in the fire. Poor them for believing you'd tumble. All they've done is awaken something they'll never be prepared for. You understand what it is to be challenged, to confront challenges that would crush others. Betrayal is not a foreign language for you. Those closest to you have glanced at your brightness in jealousy, their smiles hiding daggers aimed at your back. They couldn't comprehend why you were picked, why your presence attracts attention, and why your soul refuses to fade. So they sought to destroy it, unaware that your light is not stolen. It is won through numerous struggles that no one else could endure. You felt the weight of spiritual attacks, the unseen battles that ripped at your faith. When you stand for something bigger, the world conspires to bring you down, casting shadows over your every move. The words of doubt and the whispers of dread do more than merely haunt. They strive to devour. But you don't collapse. Each assault just strengthens your determination, honing your goal like steel against stone. Then there's the relentless pull of a society that expects conformity and mocks your divine purpose. You've traversed paths that most can't even imagine, refusing the allure of familiarity and compromise. You're not looking for the usual. You want something greater. Allow them to misinterpret you and falter in their ambitions. You weren't theirs to shatter. You are the calm in the middle of the storm. While the rest of the world is engulfed in turmoil, you move with clarity and purpose. You were never supposed to fit in. You were created to cut through the noise, mute the distractions, and climb above. Others struggle, lost in the midst of chaos and strife. Yet you flourish. The confusion does not upset you. Rather, it shows you. Every voice that attempts to drown out your truth only strengthens your resolve. While others are carried away by the tide of diversions, you gain momentum and carve a route through the chaos. Noise has little effect on those who can see beyond it. You see that chaos is not the enemy. It is the unfiltered buzz of possibilities. You comb through everything, picking strands of purpose and weaving them together to create an unstoppable vision. Others may collapse under the weight of uncertainty, yet you stay unwavering. You carry a light that attracts people, even if they don't understand why. You are offering evidence rather than hope, proof that even in the most violent storms, clarity exists. Proof that even in the midst of turmoil, you were always intended to succeed. You've seen what suffering can do. It removes the surface, revealing just the true core of who you are. For those like Viktor Frankl, it highlighted a reality that transcends pain. Even in the depths of unspeakable agony, meaning may be found. Trapped amid the horrors of the Holocaust, surrounded by despair and death, he found that suffering may be converted, not into defeat, but into meaning. He refused to be devoured by the cruelty around him. Instead, he posed a question that destroyed his tormentor's power. What does this moment demand of me? His response evolved into logotherapy, a philosophy that demonstrates that meaning is generated in the furnace of adversity, not in ease. This was more than just survival. It was the rejection of pain and the reclaiming of humanity's fundamental power. You have this same potential. No suffering can deprive you of the ability to choose how you react. No darkness can extinguish your potential to generate light. You, too, can reshape your tale, just as others who have turned their sorrow into a legacy have. The flames intended to consume you only strengthen your determination. You are not here to disintegrate, but to transcend. Malala Yousafzai's name bears the weight of survival and the strength of rebellion. Despite being shot in an effort to silence her, she refused to let violence decide her destiny. What the world saw was not simply survival, but change. The bullet designed to inspire terror became the spark that sparked a worldwide movement. Her injuries did not lessen her voice. Rather, they magnified it, connecting with millions who had been silent for far too long. You, too, have faced fights that aim to silence your truth and obliterate your light. Like Malala, you have the ability to reclaim those scars as symbols of strength rather than failure. Her narrative is about more than simply schooling. It is about having the courage to demand what was denied. Her voice became a light, not because it was unbroken, but because it refused to go away. The same power that attempted to kill her gave her purpose and clarity. You hold the same fire inside you. The world will try to suppress what it does not comprehend, but it cannot break your will. Pain isn't the finish, it's the beginning. What was supposed to hold you back now serves as the basis for your climb. You, like her, are unstoppable. Survival is not passive. Rather, it is a kind of defiance. To survive in a world that wants to obliterate you is an act of resistance. Every breath you draw, every stride you take is a rejection to give in to forces that attempted to crush you. Thriving is more than just survival. It is the ultimate vengeance. It is a proclamation that the shackles of tyranny, the weight of injustice, and the wounds inflicted on you were never sufficient to break you. Even death couldn't quiet Baldur, according to Norse mythology. Betrayed, his light was temporarily quenched. His resurrection became a symbol of triumph over the shadows, a reminder that even the deepest darkness cannot claim victory indefinitely. Baldur's return was more than simply survival. It was justice, a balance of the universe that had attempted to kill him. Like his narrative, your resurrection from the ashes demonstrates that no power can forever extinguish what was destined to shine. Every time you flourish, you expose your oppressor's falsehoods, your delight, your growth, your unwillingness to give up. These are weapons. You don't just survive, you reclaim. You demonstrate to the world that even in the face of overwhelming obstacles, you will not only survive, but thrive. Unstoppable and untouchable. Leave a comment. I've been to hell. They can't break me. Trauma affects every aspect of your being, even if you are more resilient than they thought. It doesn't ask for permission. It rips through you, disrupting your mental circuits and soul's beat. Others see ruin, but you see change. Your brain rewires itself not to make you weak, but to make you stronger. The portions of you that were before hesitant now move with precision. The emotions that previously incapacitated you now lead you like a firm compass. This is not just survival, it is evolution. Post-traumatic development is not a fiction. The trauma you've experienced changes your viewpoint, pushing you to face facts that others can never understand. Your adaptability is fashioned out of turbulence, not from comfort. The amygdala, the seat of fear, may be burning with memories, but the prefrontal cortex learns to control it. Resilience is not a gift. It is the result of your wounds, which teach you how to flourish despite them. You transform into a force tempered by fire and unbroken by the storm. Trauma sharpens your intuition, improves your empathy, and builds unbreakable strength. This is not simply mending. It is a metamorphosis. You are more than just a survivor. You are a creator of new truths, unafraid to confront what comes next. What attempted to destroy you has only made you stronger. Seriously, if you came here seeking for puppy memes, you're in the wrong dimension. The Obsidian Inner Order is the ultimate haven for the chosen ones. Those who have confronted Archons, destroyed the Matrix, and emerged unassailable. If you receive this message, it means destiny feels you could be worthy. Don't pass up the chance. We have unique conversations with genuine chosen ones who have overcome adversity, broken generational curses, and mastered divine timing. These aren't your typical success tales. They're insights that might change your life. Inside, you'll discover banned stuff that is too combustible for YouTube. Our contemporary manifestation mechanics grimoire will teach you how to convert chaos into order, transform your home into an abundance vortex, and channel universal power. But let's get to the actual treasure. Our secret Discord and community discussions, where over 400 of the most powerful chosen ones communicate. We arrange weekly calls to help you improve your mentality and provide a platform for selected singles to create heavenly connections. But let's be clear, this is not for posers. If you believe you have what it takes to join the top Ascension Nexus for selected ones, the connection to the Obsidian Inner Order is in the description. Your scars are your sharpest tools, not weaknesses. The depth of your emotional traumas has cut paths that others cannot follow, giving you access to realms of sensitivity and intuition that others can never comprehend. While others cringe in agony, you lean into it, uncovering insights under its weight. This is your superpower, the capacity to feel deeply, connect intimately, and see past the guise of pretense. Others underestimate you because they cannot comprehend the power required to exist at that depth, and yet ascend. Survivors are often misinterpreted and portrayed as fragile or damaged by people who mistake quiet for weakness. They don't understand how your quiet is a tactic, and how your resistance is a fire-honed weapon. Your capacity to communicate is not naive. It is precise. You read the smallest changes in energy, hear the unsaid, and respond with calculating compassion or unwavering determination. You've discovered that emotional depth is a strength that helps you to convert turmoil into clarity. They don't recognize the power underneath the scars because they've never carried the burden of survival. But you haven't just carried it. You've converted it into gasoline. Allow them to underestimate you. It will only increase their astonishment when you emerge again, indestructible. When I told my family and friends about my goal, they responded with ridicule, uncertainty, and downright contempt. They could not see what I saw, the vision that blazed so brightly in my spirit. Instead of encouragement, I received comments such as, "Why would you even think you could do that?" Or, "Be realistic. That's not for people like us." At first, their remarks wounded terribly. People who I expected to support me turned out to be my worst critics. Some criticized my desire as foolish, while others muttered behind my back, calling me insane. I felt alone in a whirlwind of judgment, with no one by my side. But that solitude became my fuel, and their underestimation ignited a fire in me that couldn't be put out. I stopped attempting to prove them incorrect and concentrated on showing myself correct. I put my heart and everything into my idea, step by step, transforming what was unattainable into something irrefutable. Now the individuals who derided me are watching from the sidelines, unable to dispute my progress. Their laughter has given way to stillness, and their disbelief to calm adoration. My dream was more than just a potential. It became a reality. If you've been derided or misjudged, let their skepticism boost your determination. They may not realize it yet, but the vision is yours, not theirs. Continue on because your success will one day speak louder than their comments ever could. Your difficulties are not diversions. They are stages on the route to purpose. Resilience is not created in luxury. It is forged in the depths to which you have been plunged. Joseph's narrative provides evidence of this. Betrayed by people he considered family, dumped into a pit, sold into slavery, and eventually imprisoned. Every moment seemed calculated to ruin him. Nonetheless, each plunge was a preparation, a lesson, and a refining. When the time came, Joseph ascended not by happenstance, but on purpose, to serve as a king's right hand, wielding power that rescued kingdoms. His pain was not a diversion. It laid the groundwork for his destiny. Your suffering has the same potential. Every betrayal, struggle, and moment of despair shapes you in unexpected ways. The world may only see the hole you've been thrown into, but they can't see the plan below it. They don't realize that resilience is more than simply surviving. It's about change. It is the silent fortitude to endure, the unflinching will to rise, and the unshakable belief that no hole is too deep to climb out of. You, like Joseph, are characterized not by your suffering, but by how you have used it to your advantage. This is how greatness is created. Your survival is not just a win, it is a legacy. Every scar and wound you've carried serves as a map for those stranded in the same wilderness. When others stumble, you don't hesitate. Your feet create a road where none previously existed. They may never grasp the weight you've carried, but they will see the strength in how you rise and the unwavering clarity in your course. The agony that once tried to silence you has now amplified your voice. It strikes a chord in the hearts of individuals who believe they were alone, demonstrating that the battle is not the conclusion, but the beginning of something indestructible. You've converted every failure into a learning experience, every fall into a source of strength, and as a result, you've evolved into more than just a survivor. You've become a guide. You are evidence that survival is not the end goal. Rather, it serves as the basis for change. You're the one who breaks the chain. The misery handed on as an inheritance ends with you. You destroyed patterns that others had replicated. The scars, the quiet, the shadows that lasted for generations. None of them could overcome your determination. You opted not to carry what was never yours, and by doing so, you turned it into something that would no longer hurt those who follow. This is the weight of generational healing. It requires more power than anybody before you had, yet it returns something immeasurably better. Your disobedience has not only liberated you, it has also altered the tale for others who will come after you. Every time you choose progress over bitterness, every time you ascend instead of sinking, you redefine what is possible. You don't simply heal. You create legacies of strength where there was previously just grief. This is your strength, your gift. Your anguish does not sit still. It evolves. Every wound and scar becomes fire for invention. You don't simply bear the burden of your tribulations. You transform them into something the world has never seen. Your art, writing, and music are more than just expressions. They are echoes of heavenly energy flowing through you. Where others see misery, you see beauty. Where others stumble in silence, you communicate in a language that transcends time. Creation is your resistance against suffering. It demonstrates that sorrow does not possess you. Rather, it inspires you. The pieces you create are more than simply reflections of your experiences. They are lifelines for individuals who feel invisible. They activate something latent in others, bringing bravery and connection. What you produce not only inspires, but also changes. You take what was intended to be destroyed and leave legacies for future generations. You're both an artist and an alchemist. Your narrative is more than simply your own. It has the power to change the lives of others. The agony you felt and the fights you've fought are not just memories, but tools. By sharing your truth, you break the silence that keeps others trapped in their agony. Advocacy formed of hardship is not charity, it is power. It is the power to take what was meant to harm you and utilize it to free others. Your voice bears the weight of survival, and it reframes others' suffering as strength. You don't just tell your tale. You use it as a mirror, illuminating the resilience hidden in people who have forgotten it exists. Through you, people realize that their grief is not the end, but rather the spark for change. When you advocate, you turn isolation into connection and despair into determination. You don't simply climb. You reach back, boosting others with the power you've gained from your own suffering. Your tale has the potential to shatter restraints, heal wounds, and restore hope where only ashes remain. When you speak, you do more than just retell. You create opportunities for others who remain silent. Your story is more than just words. It is a blueprint, a survival guide for people who fear their anguish will never stop. Every adversity you've faced, every moment of misery, has shaped a story that extends beyond you. By sharing it, you give others the skills they need to face their own darkness. They hear their own challenges in your words and see evidence that surviving is feasible, that flourishing is not just a pipe dream, but a reality within grasp. You demonstrate that no wound is without meaning. Your testimony does more than simply inspire. It changes. Others find their own strength via your words, and together you build insurmountable waves of resilience. Suffering does not equal strength, and strength does not compensate for sorrow. The notion that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger simplifies the human experience, reducing resistance to a lone fight. Swami Vivekananda once stated, "Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will." However, even an indomitable will needs support, healing, and rest. True resilience isn't about enduring insurmountable adversity. It's about recognizing when to seek assistance, halt, and rebuild. Romanticizing adversity is harmful. Not all pain results in progress, and not all wounds teach a lesson. Some suffering goes deeper than the surface, leaving scars that don't teach but recall. Growth occurs only when healing is emphasized. Without it, pain becomes a cyclical rather than transformative experience. Resilience requires balance. Seeking treatment, embracing community, and developing self-awareness are not indicators of weakness. They are actions of deep strength. You are not supposed to bear every weight alone, nor are you defined by what you have overcome. Strength is more than just endurance. It is the capacity to rise, ask for what you need, and recover your authority. True resilience is found in healing, not in constant sacrifice. Leadership developed through survival is not founded on titles or power. It is chiseled from wounds and the will to rise again. When you persevere, you do more than just survive. You exemplify the tenacity that others rely on. Communities are motivated not by hollow platitudes, but by people who demonstrate that survival is possible even in the face of insurmountable odds. Leaders such as Nelson Mandela, who transformed decades of incarceration into a movement for peace, and Winston Churchill, whose tenacity steered Britain through the darkest days of World War II, demonstrate that struggle and commitment characterize great leadership. Your resilience does not stop with you. It lives on, teaching future generations that problems are not obstacles, but rather chances to become stronger. Mahatma Gandhi demonstrated to the world that perseverance and peace can win against persecution, converting his struggles into a worldwide movement for liberation. Helen Keller, who overcame blindness and deafness, became a symbol of persistence and an advocate for millions, demonstrating that any challenge can be turned into influence and action. You can create legacies out of difficulty, not just tales. Survivors form associations, create art, and design systems to express their power. Your survival inspires others to rise, guaranteeing that the strength you've developed serves as a foundation for others to build on long after you're gone.